Hey, this is Colin Crandall from the MMA Power Hour, brought to you by iFluxy Studios. The MMA Power Hour is a show produced by fighters, coaches, and fans of our sport of mixed martial arts, so it is dedicated to anyone out there involved. We have top contenders as well as world champions. We have legends and Hall of Famers in our sport. They're talking about themselves, how they got to where they are, who they are, what they're about, what projects they're involved in, as well as predicting huge upcoming MMA fights and a lot more. Let's get ready to feel the power. MMA Power Hour brought to you by iFluxy Studios. And welcome to the MMA Power Hour. So glad to have you all with us, and we have a fantastic show in store for you. So let's jump into it right now. Our first guest is one of the legends and original badasses of female MMA. She is someone that did it, has been there, done that, and is the last woman standing as an active fighter of the highest level, and we're so happy to have her back with us. We're talking about none other than Tara LaRosa. Welcome to the show, Tara.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right.
Cool.
Just trying to figure out how to prop my phone up right now.
I hear you. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, there in a lot of these great phone accessories look like they're going to work so well, and then you put your phone on and it just falls on the ground. So
it doesn't work out so good.
Not awesome. Not as awesome as it should be. Well, I am so glad to have you here. We have a weekend with of the UFC action coming at us next Saturday with 3 big women's MMA fights. And I said to myself, whose commentary do I value and believe is one of the most on point and knowledgeable of MMA and women's MMA? And I said to myself, I got to call Tara LaRosa. So,
thanks.
You're welcome. Well, it's
That's
true.
Awesome.
It was really true, and I think your knowledge and ability to break things down and analyze things is like at the highest level. And I think you really, if you decide or when you decide, all right, to retire, you're right there. Looks like you fell almost.
I'm good. I'm having a hell of a time here.
I love it. That's okay. But no, I know you could be a great commentator, and we're glad to have you here doing that. So let me first, before we do though, everything going okay with you? You're training over there in the great state of Michigan. Looks like the phone will get it. You okay there, Tara? That's okay.
It's fine.
That's, believe me, you're not alone.
Things are going great. I just moved up here a couple months ago, and I love it.
Awesome.
I'm in Michigan, and it's beautiful, and it's the perfect temperature. So far, I mean, I haven't gotten to go through the winter yet. So I'm pretty excited about that. I hope finally I get to see some snow, because the places that I've been for the past several years, I've had like no snow.
That's right. And
so
you're originally from Jersey. You're originally from Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm from Jersey.
Yeah.
Now we get snow there, but I haven't been in Jersey for, a long time.
Right.
I mean, I've been in Albuquerque and Missouri and Vegas, and so I'm ready for some snow and some cold weather.
Yep.
Because I want to put my boots on.
I like it. I like it. Well, I know, being a Michigan boy myself, I know that's coming for you, and probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I think you might be in luck on that. And I think
that's what I hear.
Yeah, without a doubt, it'll be good. Well, I'm glad you're getting situated there. I really am, and Michigan is awesome. I miss it a lot. Well, let me ask you to jump right in with me to this coming up Saturday's UFC fights.
Hold on.
All right.
This is the producer, Adam. Just wanted to say something. Thank you so much, and this is so awesome that you're doing this. You're sporting the green. You got the green screen going on. I just want to say kudos to you. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yes. Well, I'm sure.
No problem.
Yeah. Thank you from me as well, Tara. And we're happy you look great there, and we're happy to have you. And so let's jump right into it. So let's actually save the biggest for last. So we're going to do a few women's fights and a few men's fights. And I'll tell you what, maybe let's get the men out of the way first, maybe, and save the best women's fights. Yeah. All right. What do you think, and what is your breakdown of the former Strikeforce champ and top contender who is still in contention in the UFC, Gilbert Melendez, going up against Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens.
Gilbert Melendez, he's just like kind of an all-time mainstay of the MMA world.
Yes.
Like, if you've been around for a while, then you know exactly who this is, and you knew about his incredible run that he's had and every big name that he's fought in amazing fights. He's been around forever. He's fallen on some hard luck in some of his most recent fights, but I would never count him out.
Right.
I definitely not. Jeremy Stevens.
Tough guy.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. I really want Gilbert to pull this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah. How do you see it playing out? If you could kind of think of one scenario that it might go.
How do I see it playing out? I don't know, to be honest. I honestly don't know as much about Jeremy Stevens as I should.
Definitely, no problem. Powerful striker. He loves stand-up.
Okay. Is he the lanky guy?
No, not a lanky guy,
No.
but a guy.
I'm thinking of somebody else. Neil Magny.
That's right. Yeah, that's the next fight.
My
I
bad.
don't blame you. No problem at all.
Okay,
but yeah, Stevens is a guy who's got some good takedown defense, has got some wrestling and jits, but is a guy that loves to stand and bang. And so how would you see Gilbert at this point in his career attacking that style, trying to get it just right to the ground right away? Or do you think...
That's what I would think. He'd use his wrestling. He should step in with his wrestling, take that shit right to the ground and finish it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Don't stick around.
Yeah.
At all.
And I'm and I'm thinking that's what he probably would do. In the past, when he was a little bit younger and back on his streak, he would say, let me play your game, just for the hell of it, so I can beat you at your game. I don't think it'd be smart now, and he probably might not be looking to do that. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. That would be not the smartest choice, because as you get older, you should get wiser.
Yes. You gotta win at your game, not at your opponent's game, right?
Exactly.
Makes sense. I think so too.
Yes.
And I think Gilbert can do that, but Stevens is tough. I mean, they both don't want a loss here. I think Gil really doesn't want a loss. Stevens has always been kind of on the cusp and will win 2 and lose 1, but it's tough. Neither of them really can afford a loss, but I think Gil maybe even can afford one less. So I think Gil is going to be really giving it a shot. I think he wins that too. Now, how about Neil Magny against Rafael dos Anjos, RDA, the former lightweight champ, coming up in weight and going up against Neil Magny, who is the tall, lanky guy. I think he's 5 inches taller than dos Anjos.
Dos Anjos, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you think that's going to be stand-up war more or on the ground? I mean, what do you think, Dos Anjos?
I don't know. If he's got that much reach on him and that much height, I would definitely take him to the ground. Okay. I would hope.
Okay. And do you think that going up in weight class can be done fairly seamlessly, or do you think that could present a problem?
Everybody's doing it. Yeah. Everybody seems to be doing it. So, true. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it seems to be the trend nowadays. Everybody's going up in weight instead of coming down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go where you're most comfortable. I mean, if you're stronger at that weight, and you can move just as quickly, you can move just as efficiently and fluidly as you did down at your previous weight, then shit, why not?
Yep, and be more healthy at that, right?
Yep.
Okay, now let's go into some great in-depth breakdowns of the women. And all these fights are at bantamweight, which is a weight you fought a lot, although I think flyweight was always your favorite and best weight, wasn't it, or am I wrong?
I did really, really well at bantamweight. I ruled the world at bantamweight.
Yes, that's true.
For a long time.
That's true.
So I did pretty well at that weight.
Yep.
But that's before everybody decided to become a monster and start cutting 30 pounds.
Right, yep.
So, that was before the big weight cutting era.
Yep, very true. Well, let's start out with Sarah Cheesecake Morris against Ashley Evans Smith. I think you're familiar with both of those ladies.
I am very familiar with Sarah Morris because I fought her on season 18 of The Ultimate Fighter to get into the Tough House.
That's right.
And I lost.
Right.
Yes, I got stuck between her pasty white thighs in the second round and could not get out of a triangle.
Yep.
Which I did not succumb to,
Right.
but I was trapped.
Yeah, she's a
like
heavy.
a rat.
And she's a big 135er, isn't she?
She's a thick chick.
Yeah,
she's a thick girl. She's got thick legs, thick butt.
Yep.
She's tough. She's actually got a pretty decent ground game. She's very, very active. She's coming off a very long layoff. She hasn't fought since 2015, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Ashley Evans Smith, who is not a world beater, but has actually been active throughout that time, and is probably definitely going to have length and height on her.
Yeah.
If Sarah tries to stand, it could be a rough night for her. If it goes to the ground, Sarah's got a much better chance of taking this.
Okay.
So it's going to depend on that swing, or who can get it where.
Okay.
That's why, I mean, if I was Ashley's coach, I would tell her to keep the distance and just pick her apart. You've got reach.
Right.
So kick her from across the cage. Right. Ashley's a tall girl.
Right. And then the opposite if you were in the Sarah Morris corner.
Yeah, I would absolutely fake the shot, reshot, get in tight on her, go to the ground. I would use wrestling, I think.
Right. How much would you guess 2 years off will affect Sarah Morris?
Depends on how much she's been training since then. I got a feeling that it may not be good for her. I've seen her put some stuff up. She has a GoFundMe up for her training camp. So
that's tough.
I'm guessing that she's not doing real great. I'm thinking. So training may be rough. She may be having a rough time of it. Right. That's a lot. That's a huge obstacle to overcome, especially at the UFC level.
Yeah.
You can definitely get away with like the bare bones training and the bare bones camp and kind of not having the greatest diet, the most stringent diet, like when you're at the lower levels and stuff. But on the upper levels, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call it against her, but I think Ashley Evans Smith probably has a pretty good chance of taking this.
Okay.
To be honest.
And not that we're wanting to cater 100% to gamblers, but maybe just a little insight. Would you say this is a fight that should go the distance, or if you were a betting woman, which you may be, that it more than likely will not go the distance?
Unless Ashley Evans Smith ends it somehow, I think it's going to go the distance. When I fought Sarah, it was an incredibly boring fight, and I almost fell asleep twice in the cage. No. So look for it. If she can't control the pace or the flow of it, look for it to go the distance.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, sounds good. It's okay. No, I like that. I like that insight. I do.
Just saying.
Yep. No.
You asked.
Absolutely. I did indeed. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. And let's go on to the next one. I also think that one is such an unpredictable one, and it will kind of depend, I think, if Sarah can control the grappling. Both women, I think, have fought at 45 on a couple of occasions, so they're both big. But okay. I think, Ashley Evans Smith is a little bit taller and longer, so going to be interesting to see. How about we go next to Sarah McMahon and the undefeated Brazilian Ketlin Vieira. I'd love to hear your breakdown of that and thoughts.
This is an interesting matchup for me. Sarah McMahon's last fight was kind of, I hate to say it because this girl's a friend of mine, was against Gina Mazzani, who's actually a friend of mine, but she had a pretty easy time of it. It was a short fight. It was an easy day. Yeah. She took no damage, so she should have been able to just get right back on her horse. And that wasn't too long ago, so she's coming off of a fresh win. Sarah's been gaining some momentum lately. Yes. Since a couple of those downfalls that she had back there a little while ago. Yeah. This Ketlin Vieira chick she kind of came out of nowhere. Like, she kind of just popped up like, especially on my radar. I really had to look up to see who the hell she was because I had no idea.
Yeah, me too.
She's kind of I'm so blunt when I break this shit down.
Okay.
Like, she's fought nobody.
Right, pretty much.
So she's kind of like what I would call a padded record. Who knows who these chicks are that she fought down in
Brazil,
southern regions and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
Her last 2 fights were, I think, decent people. So, but they're definitely nowhere's near Sarah McMahon's level.
Yeah.
So, I can't tell you I know much about this girl's skill set. If she's coming from Brazil and she's out of Nova Unao, she's probably got some pretty good ground. If she has really good subs, then I think that she could sub Sarah McMahon. But if she does not, if she's more of a grinder, if she's more of a ground and pound, she's going to have a hard time because Sarah's really good on the ground at controlling people.
Yeah.
And she can also turn it into a wrestling match. I don't know what she's got on the feet, but I haven't seen any amazing finishes from her, so I'm guessing that her stand-up is meh, whatever. Sarah's been in some battles, she's been in some wars, and she likes to stand. She really does. For a wrestler, she really tries to work hard on her boxing and constantly improve. So I'm going to say that this is Sarah McMahon's fight. She's going to hand Ketlin her first loss.
All right. And do you think it'll be within the distance? It sounds like maybe you may be thinking that.
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Because it seems like either Sarah is going to just pound her out, or somehow this girl will catch her in a sub, which I'm kind of thinking is kind of unlikely, although you never know. This girl could be a world beater, but more than likely not. And Sarah's really strong. I mean, being as good a wrestler as she is, has she been subbed yet? I mean, I know she lost with that knee to the liver by Ronda Rousey, but I don't think anyone's subbed Sarah McMahon. Do you?
I don't know. I don't think Sarah McMahon has been submitted yet.
Yeah, so more than likely this girl won't be the one to do it. Although there seems to be some exciting contenders coming up in female MMA, so you never know. But yeah, I think we got we have McMahon, and we think inside the distance.
Right on. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm definitely with that.
Cool.
For sure.
Cool. I appreciate it. Now, the co-main event, but the main event.
Rear naked choke by.
Rear naked choke. That's
what is it?
RNC for McMahon.
She got rear naked choked by Amanda Nunes.
Oh wow, that's right. That was a fight where she just got completely annihilated, and I think that may have been her last loss. I appreciate that.
Yes.
You know, and but okay. So still, though, I think this is probably not going to be another Amanda Nunes, this Ketlin Vieira. Although
I agree, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to go with Sarah McMahon for the win.
Yep, absolutely. Sarah McMahon, got it. Now, speaking of Amanda Nunes, how about this one? Love a good detailed breakdown here from Tara La Rosa. Amanda Nunes defending her title against Valentina Shevchenko, the rematch of 3 years ago when Nunes was not the champ. How does that one play out?
Well, I got to tell you, I definitely think Valentina Shevchenko took that first fight.
Yeah, but
I definitely think she won that fight.
Right.
I'm calling it. I think Valentina Shevchenko is definitely going to win this. Amanda Nunes likes to stand. She likes to stay on her feet. She likes to throw. She really does. So does Valentina.
Yes.
She really does. And I think she's really good at it. And if Valentina wants to stand, I think she can handle Amanda on the feet.
Yep.
And if they go to the ground, then I definitely think Shevchenko is going to do just fine, if not dominate. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for a dominant performance by Shevchenko.
Yeah.
I definitely. I think the belt may definitely change hands.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm leaning toward that as well, and I've been calling that on the occasion that I've mentioned that fight because it was supposed to happen 2 months ago. So we talked about it a lot early this summer, and I think so too. I think it's going to be a really good fight, though. I think it's definitely going to be some give and take. I wonder if Amanda starts being outstruck on her feet, do you think she will try to take it down, or she'll just say, "Hell with this, let's bang"?
I think she'd say the hell with this. Let's bang.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah.
Now, there's something that I always look at, especially with people that have held the title or defended the title a few times, and they're especially new to the limelight. They're new to the big stage. Newer fighters, not newer, but new to being in the press and the media and shit like that. Sometimes they really get ahead of themselves, and I call it champion slack.
Interesting.
Champion slack. Like, they sort of get that high that they're at the top of the heap and they're the best, and they can, I mean, yeah, they work hard in the gym, but they don't change things up very much. They don't do a lot of studying because they really, really believe in themselves, all that shit.
Right.
And they fall prey to their own hype.
Interesting.
And a lot of times, that's when you'll see the championship change hands.
Right.
Like, you can kind of tell, like, especially the guys or the girls that do a lot of press, and it's like their first time doing a shitload of press. I think training sometimes falls by the wayside, and they get off their rhythm, they get off their routine, they get off the grind because they're so busy traveling to do the media promotion shit and stuff like that, that a lot of times they get too comfortable, and that's when they lose.
Interesting. And yeah, Amanda is so confident. It just seems like, she believes that exactly what she says is going to happen will happen pretty much to everyone, because it happened to Rousey and Tate. But
yeah.
I think she does have a harder time on her hands here, and yeah, I think so too. I know I like people at ATT. We've had several people on, but I have to be honest. I think the title changes hands in this one in a very, very tough fight. Should be really exciting though. I don't think there's any way that fight's going to be a snoozer, right? One. Yeah. Like I like to sometimes say they're going to beat the crap out of each other, wouldn't you say?
It could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen it before.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have indeed.
Oh,
I tell you.
God.
Well,
poor girl.
I know. Right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Tara. Is there anything you want to shout out? I know you're looking for a fight, nothing's signed yet, but if you wanted to shout out anything at all, people you're training with, or where you're training, or
I'm training at Fuse MMA.
Awesome.
Here in Detroit, and it's pretty awesome. I'm under Don Richards.
Okay.
And also coming out of that gym is Bobby Nash, and he's freaking awesome. He is incredible and so much fun to train with. He's just a positive guy and has a great spirit.
Where's he fighting?
No matter what.
Yeah, where's Bobby fighting?
He just fought in Scotland.
Okay.
That was his last fight, and it didn't go his way.
Okay, and that was a UFC, wasn't it? That was UFC, right?
Yes, it was.
Still, that's good.
Was,
He's at that high level, and the bottom line is, just because one doesn't go your way doesn't mean the next one won't. And I know you'll be cheering for him, and so we'll keep an eye on it. And if people are at a high level and wanted to go down to your gym to possibly train there, is there any openings, or would you say that there wouldn't be any point?
Come on in.
I like it. Cool.
Yeah, come on in.
And that's in Detroit. That's in Detroit.
Yeah.
And once again, the name of the gym is?
Fuse MMA.
Excellent. So you guys look
on Harper Avenue.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys are serious, then maybe go down there, and you've got great male fighters, Bobby Nash and others.
Absolutely.
You've got awesome female fighters.
I also want to add in there, if you've ever been to a political rally and you have thrown a punch or swung a bike lock or a stick, or you've hit somebody with something, or you've lit something on fire, I really want you to visit my gym, and I would love to spar with you.
Nice. So you can...
Yes, that would be great. I'd really enjoy that a lot.
I love it.
That would be a good time.
I
will introduce you to MMA.
I like that. Lessons to be learned for the derelicts out there that are trying to get crazy.
Also, I got to give a shout out to Roxanne Montefiore,
awesome,
my homegirl from forever, and she is tearing it up on The Ultimate Fighter this season.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The favorite, I think, is a good chance, right?
She is improved 150%, like more than 100%. She's doing she's a whole new person.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally, physically, technically, everything. And she is, I mean, you saw the first episode. There's more of that to come.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm definitely, she's definitely going to go far.
I love it. I look forward to it.
She will go far.
I believe
it.
And she's a really nice person, isn't she? As she's always looked like.
She's great.
That's cool.
She's great.
That's cool. Well, definitely shout out to Roxanne Modafferi, and we'll be cheering her on for sure. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Tara. I really appreciate it a lot. Your insight and great ability to go over and break things down and bring humor to it and bring your great personality. It means a lot and really makes our show better. So we will have you on anytime you're available. Okay?
You're so much
fun.
Right
on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So much fun. And thank you for that call out there. I agree with you 100%. I'll join you in rolling with these people.
Absolutely. I'm a producer. Adam agrees. Well, thanks so much, Tara. You have a great one. Enjoy Michigan, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Oh, for sure. Thanks. Have a great night.
You're very welcome. You too. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right. And that was Tara LaRosa. Absolutely awesome legend, and she definitely knows MMA, and she definitely knows women's MMA for sure. So put a lot of credence in what she said with her picks. So are we going to go right into the next guest here, or are we going to take a little bit of a break, Dr. Adam Roorda?
Tell you what, let's go ahead and do our awesome Skype dance and then get it going here.
All right, this next guest is going to be Callie Robbins, undefeated Invicta strawweight, having won all 5 of her fights within the distance. And we're going to talk more about it. Here's the Skype tone.
I think we got it.
All right. Is that you, Callie?
Yes.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, you're probably just seeing a green screen, but we're seeing you there. And don't worry, we'll be doing some good back and forth split screens and alternating screens. And so as long as you don't let a green screen throw you, then we're looking good for tonight.
Okay.
Awesome. So I was just introducing you, and I want to let people know that you are a strawweight who is absolutely making some noise. An amazing, I think it was an upset win, as Sharon Jacobson was favored, I believe, in that fight. So an amazing upset win by submission in 42 seconds at Invicta FC 25, where I was live. And you are now 5-0 with every single fight within the distance. I don't know that there are any other strawweights that have won 5 in a row, or 5 out of 5 within the distance. So you're lighting it on fire. We're so glad to have you here, Callie Robbins. Welcome to the MMA Power Hour.
Hey.
Hey. So we really want to get to know about you because you're making some noise. You have a great attitude. You're from the Midwest, which is awesome. I'm originally from Michigan. Our producer here and co-host, Dr. Adam Roorda, spent most of his years in Iowa and then Missouri. So we're Midwesterners here. Love to see another Midwesterner doing well, and definitely happy to have you here. So tell us a little bit about your backstory. How did you get from, say, being in high school to ending up fighting on such a big stage like Invicta? What martial arts or fighting did you get into, and how did you get into it? Go back like 10 years or 5 years, to before this started, and let us know a little bit about your backstory, if you would.
Well, I was never per se an athlete. I was actually in college when I found the gym. I was going for some fashion and retail marketing. That's what I was looking for at the time. And I just was getting out of shape and I didn't like it. And then, everybody always says oh, kickboxing is a super good workout. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just go to the best place. And the best place at the time was Duke's. So I went there, and I remember walking in the door, and it was just it was so cool, just to see everybody in there. It was different levels of classes, and I just immediately gravitated to the more advanced. I was just watching them just beat the shit out of each other.
Yep.
Really. Yep. And I was just this looks so cool. I want to do this.
I like that.
And it started out really slow. I didn't know anything about fighting, and I wasn't going there to fight. I was just I just wanted to learn something, and I think it was just a time that I really wanted something that I could attach to and be really good at, and I was excited about it. And that was really all it was. So I just started doing like just kickboxing, and then I was only coming a few days a week, and then I saw people like rolling around in like what I know now is a gi, but I was like, what is that? What are they doing? And ended up just like buying gi and showing up to class. There's actually like another girl that was like, hey, you should come with me and try this out. And I was like, okay. Nice. And I showed up and I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. And actually, Red Schaefer was my coach for the first day of doing jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything. So I was like, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? He's like, you ever watch the UFC? And I totally lied straight to his face. I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, just do what they do there.
Nice.
So I was like, okay. This got awful. But I really ended up in jiu-jitsu and kind of like not doing any kickboxing, and just like I did jiu-jitsu like it was a job, and I fell in love with it. And then when I kind of hit like that, like right about to hit like that blue belt, like mid blue belt, whatever, I just started picking back up on striking. And there was a girl that popped in the gym, and she had been wrestling like her whole life, and she had some random fight coming up, and I was like, hey, I'll show you some jiu-jitsu stuff. You show me some wrestling stuff.
I like that.
And yeah, then it just sort of like evolved from there. Like I was her training partner, and then Duke was all over my butt, like, when are you gonna fight? When are you gonna fight? I'm like, never. Leave me alone.
Oh no, really? So you weren't planning on fighting? Yeah, you were just thinking you were doing this to get in shape and have some fun, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought about it. I thought about it a lot, but I was just like, oh, like the time and dedication that, I'd have to put into that. Like I was working full time and like doing all, I was looking at building a career rather than, fighting. I was like, oh, I'm too old. I'll never do well. Right, like, wow. And then
little did you know, right?
Then it was, he was like, kept pestering me, and then finally he was just like, what are you doing on such and such weekend? And I was like, oh, nothing, I have no plans. And so he was like, well, I have a fight for you. And I was like, all right, fine.
Nice. No argument at all.
Yeah. And then I finished my first fight in like a minute and 11 seconds with an arm bar, and I was just hooked. I was like, holy shit, my jiu-jitsu works. Like,
I love it.
I can do this.
That had to be a great feeling, huh?
Oh yeah, it was so cool because like anybody from Milwaukee knows at the rave, and it's kind of like the spot, where like everybody's like grown up watching like their favorite bands there and everything like that, and it's just like it's like an old historic like I don't know, just like event space, and it's awesome. And I happened to be there, and it was just like all my friends and family, everybody that has seen me training, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was like a really great feeling, just the place that it was, being in my hometown and having everyone there, and then having it be like, by armbar right away. It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, let me give some credit to your gyms, and let me clarify one thing. We know that the Duke is Duke Rufus and his gym in Milwaukee. And were you training with Red Schaefer there, or is that a different gym that's somehow connected to Duke Rufus's?
Yeah, well, when I first started doing like any training with whoever, I started over at Duke's, and that was about 8 years ago. But for the last like 2 years, I've been over at Red Schaefer's. I switched over. So yeah, I credit a lot of like some of my come up and things like that with Duke. But the last 2 years, this is my third fight with Red Schaefer's gym, and I've had incredible success, and I'm really, really happy I made this switch. So
absolutely. And is Red Schaefer's gym in Milwaukee as well, or a different city?
Yeah, it's in Milwaukee. We're downtown. This is more like in a suburb, so
very cool.
Right here in the middle of it.
I like that. And over at Red Schaefer's gym, if someone is serious and watching this, are they open to professionals or maybe amateurs with a really good record to come in and possibly see about training over there?
Oh, anybody, like, I mean, look at me.
I like that.
I was just like a bartender. So, we have a small like amateur team, and, it's all female pros over here. So right now we're running the ship in terms of that, but we're building our team. We'll be celebrating like our 6th year being open. So it's just we're building everything, but we mostly have like, just like tons of classes for like people that are coming in for like, fun or for hobby, but definitely is like a good little AMI team and a pro team building.
I like it.
Anybody can come in, try it out.
I like it. And would they find it under just Red Schaefer MMA, or what would it be listed as if they wanted to look up your gym and be able to find it?
Oh, say again. I'm sorry, you kind of broke up.
No problem. Yeah. If someone wanted to make sure they could find Red Schaefer's gym, what would they look that up under? Would it be Red Schaefer MMA, or is that the official name of the gym, just Red Schaefer's, or want to make sure people can find it?
Yeah, it's Red Schaefer Mixed Martial Arts, and then you can go to redschaefer.com, and there's all kinds of information on there. Full prices, schedule, that sort of thing. Free week, little buttons you can press on and do whatever.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we're totally open. You can just walk in the door.
Excellent. And Red Schaefer was a great UFC fighter for many years. Is he continuing on, or is he focused now completely on training people?
Yeah, he retired last year. He's going to be celebrating his 40th this month.
Awesome.
Which he's super pumped about.
That's cool. I like it.
But yeah, he's still actively competing and kicking ass. Actually, he's doing really, really well. Just still staying in there, and I think it's awesome. He's running his gym. We just expanded it, so we're like more than double the size than we were before. Taking on a business partner. So he's got a lot of things in the works, and he's, so busy competing. And I think it's really cool. The gym is doing really well. And like I said, getting bigger, and it's inspiring to watch him still going out there and competing and doing well and showing his students, what like martial arts, the real lifestyle is about. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And he was always a really popular fighter and a really, really tough guy with that red hair. And there's probably some gray in it now, right? I imagine, but still a lot of red. And I always liked him. I was a fan of his. So absolutely. Now I'm in big trouble. No, there can't be any. There's no gray. I'm sorry, Red. And I didn't say it. But big fan of Red Schaefer's, and I'm really glad that he has a gym, and to have you there with the great attitude you have, I think is really cool, and I'm sure it's that great atmosphere there, which is why you're so happy. So a lot of respect to you there, and if anyone wants to go down there and is serious and wants to train, it looks like it'll be some fantastic training in Milwaukee. So what are your thoughts as far as what you want to do? Are you focusing now on trying to get a title fight in Invicta, or do you want a couple more fights, or what's your thoughts for your immediate future in MMA?
It's whatever. I keep kind of saying, like, I'm not in the business right now to turn down any opportunities. So really whatever comes my way. I definitely want to showcase that I can strike. Yep. I feel like I didn't show that and had like a bit of a freak out. So like I think that I have more to show. Right. Definitely to prove. So whatever comes next, I'm one step at a time. So
right.
I just feel like the minute that I'm looking and saying like, oh, I deserve this and I deserve that and a title shot and blah, 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 that's when things aren't going to go my way.
Right.
I'm one fight at a time, one step at a time. Everything that I do is important. So at this point, like I want a really good career, and I want a really good record, and I want to show what I'm capable of. That's what's important to me. So.
I like that. Very well stated. Now let's go back to that amazing fight. And my producer here was super excited. I've been to many, many, many live events, and I was still excited. Adam has not been to that many live MMA events, unless you consider Small Smokers in Iowa live events, right? So which this wasn't. And so what this fight looked to me, and it probably looked that way to you, although I'm sure you were feeling like you were in it. But it looked like Sharon Jacobson came out, started to beat the shit out of you on the feet, threw you on the ground, and there you stayed connected, immediately started going for the armbar and got it. And it's like, what were you, seems like you weren't shaken at all. How were you feeling? Can you relate what was going through your head when she came out super fast like that and started raining punches down on you? What were you thinking? I'd love to know.
Man, I was just, as we were gonna pop off a couple shots, get to the left, make sure we're going the right direction, you know, because she is a lefty. I mean, well, I think her power hand is still her right hand. Wrestlers are so weird.
That's all right.
But the first like 2 exchanges were really good. I connected and I was doing the right things, and I knew she was going to come charge, you know. So that's what I was looking to do, and to stuff takedowns and make her work for it and chase me and this and that. And if all goes the worst, you know, like, and I end up on the bottom, I know what to do.
Right.
So that was the plan.
Right.
And then instead of doing the plan, I caught her kick and I kind of let it go and then sort of froze. And I feel like, you know, I was like sort of reaching, trying to clinch up, and I knew she was like hitting me, but at the time I was like, oh, these don't hurt.
Nice.
This is supposed to hurt.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait a second, you're standing here letting somebody punch at you. And I was like, oh crap. And then I went for like, you know, like a right underhook just to stop it, and she had, God, the most beautiful toss I've ever seen in my whole life.
Awesome hip toss. Yes, it was. Right. Did you land hard? Did it hurt a lot or not so bad?
You know, it's like it's kind of messed up, but like her technique was so good that like I felt great. Like if she had shittier technique, I think I'd feel like I got hit by a car. But
right.
I'm like, I feel better than I felt like the entire fight camp, you know, like battled through, like I pulled my groin, I pulled my hamstring, I hurt my knee, my neck was sore, like I had 2 black eyes, a gash on my forehead, and I'm like, I feel great.
Nice. That's awesome. And you immediately, when you hit the ground, were you thinking armbar from there? It looks like you kind of were, or were you just...
Hell yeah. Yeah,
makes sense.
That's like goal number 1.
Yep.
That's the thing, and I was kind of telling other people that, like, that girl that started with me, you know, like 4 years ago, she has been throwing me around for 4 years.
Nice.
And the thing is, I'm not going to match her wrestling. I'm not going to match somebody that's been wrestling since they were 16 years old. So the best thing to do is sort of like stay on them, stay attached, and then get to work right away. So that's the plan. Yeah. And the thing is I don't have like very patient jiu-jitsu, and it's very intuitive, and I'm always hunting for subs. So that's what I do, and it was great. It was a perfect classic jiu-jitsu for MMA armbar. It was an MMA armbar, you know, hook the leg and then come up and grab it.
Yeah, so it really was, and I was impressed. And I'm more of a jiu-jitsu guy. Adam here is more of a wrestler, and he was super impressed. Did you have any question you wanted to ask her about that fight, or thoughts that you had about how impressed you were?
No, I was just super impressed there. I mean, going up against a wrestler like that, and, you know, me being a wrestler myself, I've been on the other end and walked away feeling a little better. You, on the other hand, came in and countered so perfectly. I can't imagine how quickly you were thinking there. You know, from the outside watching it, you were thinking very fast, and that it was beautiful. Yeah, it was. I mean, you stayed attached, like you said, stayed attached and connected, which was perfect, and then, you know, went right for it. And did you have confidence that you had it right away, or did you think it's possible she was slipping out?
No, I know her elbow was a little bit out right away, and that's the thing. Like I was looking for that, but not as like move 1. That was my move 1 of a series, you know. I was like gonna hit that, and if she pulled out, you know, we were gonna keep going. And that I was just more looking for her to scramble and not be able to sit down and punch and get settled in and then start wearing me down. So really the point was to get her to move, and I felt that the arm was out a little bit. And I don't know if it was either me turning down, belly down, or the fact.
Repeat that. We had a little problem with the Skype there. Can you say that again? Well, we had a little problem with the Skype here, Kelly. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, but we want to hear your explanation there. We missed about 5 seconds. You were saying you were not sure if it was when you went belly down, and then continue what your thought was after that.
Or I think she tried to like throw a punch from there, something like that. I don't know if that made her go a little bit further in, but definitely like at first the elbow was like right on that edge, and either way I latched on and it felt good, and I knew I had it, but Man, I've I've had it where I've had girls' arms like throughout an entire fight, just cranking on it, and sometimes it's like it's not enough, just pulling on them. They can just go forever. Oh my God.
and I think women are even more limber in the joints like that than men. Do you think? I mean, it seems
not me.
Not you're not. I hear you, right? And maybe I guess I've made a generalization. I think I told Julie Kedzie, and she said, "Well, at my age, I'm not either." But I don't know. I train a little bit, and it's amazing how women's arms can move and them not submit. I mean, maybe I'm just seeing super limber women, but one of my instructors said, on a 1-to-1 basis, women are going to be a little bit more flexible with being able to have their arm cranked and torqued and moved in different directions. And I've seen that, and so I see your point when you're saying that you're just cranking sometimes, and they're not tapping. But yeah, that was slick. You were super emotional afterward. Can you tell us why?
Well, I've been struggling like the past year and a half to look for a fight. I had kind of 2 back-to-back fights in December and March, and that was like a 8-second knockout, another quick finish, and I was starting to just kind of look on my own for fights. I figured it'd be easy.
Right.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't.
And then after a few. It was not easy. After a few months, I got hooked up with Iridium Sports Agency, and they started looking for me, and they started calling me the boogeyman because it was like fight after fight, like fell through, or like I'd be cutting weight for 3 weeks, and then the promoter would disappear, the person would disappear, or people just kept turning me down and saying no. So I had these like super high highs like for a week, and then okay, we got to look again, start from the beginning, start from scratch, right? And I just felt like I was losing my momentum, and I was like kind of getting scared that I was like, I didn't even care, like when Invicta like gave me this fight, I didn't care who it was. I was like, I'll take anybody anytime now, because I'm running out of time, and I was afraid that like I just end up that those were my last fights, and that I wouldn't find anything else, and that I was getting edged out almost, like
pushed out of the game.
So I was in a way, like I was just like, how many years am I going to spend like waiting for somebody to say yes or show up? And it was messing with me, is this what I want to be doing? How much am I sacrificing? Is this worthwhile? Blah, blah. I mean, it's all that stuff. Like, it doesn't matter, I think, who you are. When you spend so much time out of doing what you love, and you're seeing other people get all these opportunities, and while you're happy for them, like I'm so happy for women's MMA to be exploding, I'm like, hey.
What about me, right?
Like, yeah. And then it's like, I'm training hard all the time. There are no breaks, there's no vacations, there's no breaks. You're just sitting there waiting, and training hard and getting frustrated. So, I was just, there was a lot of like self-doubt and questions going on in my head past year and a half. And as every month and every week kept going by, I got angry and angrier, I think. Yep. And everything was riding on this fight. Yep. That's what I felt like.
Yeah. That was that important, and it makes sense, because that was really, it just seems like it all kind of hit you in a positive way, and I think people really appreciate that genuine emotion, and now I can see why. I appreciate that explanation. And when they said who you were going to fight, it almost seemed like they were saying, great, if you want to fight, we're going to have you fight this girl who will beat you, and then you'll be all done. Did you have a feeling almost like they were saying, this is what you're going to get, and like they were bringing you in possibly to lose, or did you feel like the opponent wasn't that dangerous, or they weren't doing that and they just thought it was even? What was your thoughts when they mentioned Sharon Jacobson as your opponent?
I don't necessarily think they were doing anything malicious. I think, or like maybe not bringing me in to lose, but I think they were giving me an opportunity to show, what I can really do. I guess that's sort of how I felt walking into it. I think that her and her team, I mean, I can't speak for her. I don't know her, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I feel like I was being overlooked by them, if anybody. I don't think I was being overlooked by Invicta. I think Invicta gave me a very fair matchup. She was 4-1 and I was 4-0, Yep. It was perfect matchup. She definitely, had the edge on the experience level in terms of like, wrestling and combat sports. And she had, arguably like maybe more well-known team or something like that. Like she had, Raquel Pennington, Heather Jo Clark, Tisha Torres, all these people that I like look up to. It is, I'm not gonna lie, it was like sort of intimidating, but at the same time, I just had to go in and believe in myself, and I knew what she was gonna do. That's the thing. Like I knew exactly what she was gonna do. I knew she was going to come out like that, regardless of how I handled it. I knew she was gonna come out like that, and I knew that she was gonna beat me in the wrestling department. And right. I just had to believe in my striking. I had to believe in my jiu-jitsu. I had to believe in the fact that I'm undefeated for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I've trained with killers myself. Right. Like I'm over here with Red Schaefer. He's no slouch on the ground, and he's only tightened up my game, which was already really damn good. And then I've also, trained with Sergio Pettis, Anthony Pettis, Dustin Ortiz, Rick Glenn. Like it goes on and on and on. So I think, not having any tape on me and not, maybe not, no highlight reel or whatever, they were like, we're going to beat her, I think that's what it was. And I think she was looking past me. And I think, she wanted that title shot, and she just saw me as like something she was going to step over.
Yep. Like a stepping stone. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And you came in and proved yourself in a big way. I like that, and I appreciate that explanation. Hey, I know we want to get some predictions of upcoming women's fights from you, but we want to make sure to present you in the best form possible. And the Skype picture has frozen. And we don't, right? So you actually have a pretty cool expression on your face. It's not like a stupid expression. But what we want to do is replace it by picking a picture of you. And I'm going to point out, if you look over there, that one, to my producer, in the black top down in the third row, you want to go down, 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 and to the right, and one more to the right. And that would be perfect. If you pick that picture, that would be great. So we're going to pick a cool picture of you from the internet. So it's not going to be your face frozen. It'll be you smiling and a pretty good picture of you on the internet. And we can continue on as my producer is doing that, because we always want to make sure that that we're not having anything look too crazy. Although people understand, and some shows can't change it, but we can change it. So let me see. My producer is great, and he's doing that. And while he's doing that, let me go and say I am so happy to have you here to give your opinion on 3 women's fights. The breakdown about you and your thoughts and your career and your attitude was awesome. I really think that you seem like such a super cool person, and presenting what was in your head and your thoughts, you presented in such an awesome way. So I'm really impressed, and I'm really happy we were able to get to know you more. And let's also get to know your knowledge of other women's MMA. And let's start with the undercard, and then we'll get to the main event of UFC, this weekend's UFC. So why don't we start with Sarah Cheesecake Morris against Ashley Evans Smith. Love to hear the Callie Robbins breakdown of that fight.
If I had to predict, I guess I'm gonna go with Ashley Evans Smith. I haven't watched Sarah in a long time. I'm not sure how much of a layoff she's had, but I know Ashley Evans Smith, she's got pretty amazing wrestling, grappling. Her striking has been looking way more well-rounded. And I think she's coming in angry with something to prove. So I definitely think that she's going to take this one for sure. That would be my prediction.
Makes sense.
I'm going with that.
I like that. And we have a great picture, by the way, on the screen now. And so no more of a picture of you with a frozen face. So you're looking good, and I appreciate that. So yeah. So 2 years off, I think Sarah Morris had, and that does make it tough to come back. It really does. We just had women's pioneer and legend Tara LaRosa on before you, and she said that is going to have an effect. She said Sarah Morris may have a better wrestling game than Ashley Evans Smith, but with 2 years off, it could counter counter that, and and it might make the difference. That's really, it's kind of going to be the X factor in that fight, is the 2 years off. Otherwise, they may be evenly matched. But yeah, Ashley Evans Smith is going to be coming hard, and I got your prediction on that one as Ashley Evans Smith. Next fight, how about Sarah McMahon and Ketlin Vieira? I know there's not a lot of footage out there on Vieira, but are you familiar with her at all? She's 8-0, I think, has fought in the southern region from Brazil.
I'm like slightly familiar with her, so I'm not super confident on what she does. What I would say about Sarah McMahon is that I know she's got a champion mindset, and the only people she's lost to are former champions.
Yes, and current champion. Yep.
She's a heavy hitter, amazing wrestler. She switched teams, Team Alpha Male. She's got tons of chicks on her side and like a huge camp behind her. I think she's in right time, right place to start making a run for it again. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Sarah McMahon. Got to.
Yeah, I think so too. Though the Brazilian Vieira though would probably love to duplicate what you did to Sharon Jacobson against Sarah McMahon. I have a feeling that, it's possible, right? But probably a long shot, I would think, against Sarah McMahon. Although anything is possible, right?
Don't get armbarred, Sarah.
No, exactly. That's the key. I love that. And then let's go over the main event. This one, give me a detailed description on how you think this fight plays out, how you think the action will unfold between the champ Amanda Nunes against the challenger Valentina Shevchenko in a rematch of about 3 years ago.
Well, no disrespect to either woman. I mean, they're freaking both amazing. I'm super excited for this fight. But Nunes, from what I've heard from people in her camp, she makes guys quit the gym. She's a heavy hitter. She's retired 2 people.
Oh wow.
Maybe retired 2 people. Mm-hmm. Maybe 1.5 so far. But I think if she edges out Shevchenko and closes the distance and is able to put hands on her the way she wants to in the first round or 2, I think she takes this home. Shevchenko, on the other hand, is very, very durable and uses her distance and her range and is very unpredictable. And she's good everywhere. She's proven that now. She's good on the ground, good off her back, that sort of thing. I think if it goes into later rounds, I think Shevchenko edges out the win in terms of like her cardio and just like her all-around striking experience. So that's what I think. I'm excited to see either way it goes. They're both amazing women.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you think this fight goes the distance or does not go the distance? Tough one, I know.
I think it does not go the distance. I think, like I said, if Nunes does what she's good at, I think it'll be over quick.
Makes sense. And so if someone were to say, do you think it'll go to the 3rd round? Because that's also a question some people have, like a proposition of wagering on. Not that we're saying you have to have a crystal ball, but you think it won't go the distance, but do you think it would go to the 3rd round, or are you thinking it might not even go that far?
Might not even go that far.
Nice.
Probably not.
But one thing's for sure, it's not going to be a snoozer. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm excited. I'll be watching the fights this weekend. I'm super pumped. I'm already getting my crew together. So
awesome. Me too. It's going to be exciting. Well, let me ask you this: how did you get the nickname Pop-Tart? I think a lot of people would love to hear that.
Honestly, I have I get like food cravings obviously during like every camp. And I've had like the very normal ones, like, oh man, I wish I had pizza, or I wish one time I had like some weird craving, like golden raisins. Like, I don't even know why, but like every time I saw a picture, I'm like, oh, I need those.
Right. I like that.
And one time it was Pop-Tarts, and I just kept posting about it and whatever, like for Pop-Tarts and whatever, and then it sort of stuck.
I like that.
Gonna have to change my name to Rice Cake now. But.
Nice, because you're into rice cakes. I love it. What are your favorite Pop-Tart flavors, by the way? I bet no one's asked that one.
I got to go with the classic strawberry. I brought them with me to California, and I gave them to the Invictus staff. One guy was like, if it were any other flavor. I'm like, people get really serious about the flavors.
I like that. Absolutely. I know. I was always the brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tart guy, and the older I get, the fewer I can have. So, I can relate. You know what I mean? And I'm not even a professional fighter.
I definitely relate. That was my weight after cutting weight and wrestling. After weigh-ins, I just went straight for the Pop-Tarts, strawberry. So
Nice.
I feel you, Callie.
Right. And they have to be toasted, right? Or are you okay with the Pop-Tarts raw, Callie?
Oh, anyway.
I like it.
Is there a bad way to have a Pop-Tart?
No, there definitely isn't. There definitely isn't. Adam, did you have any questions for Callie?
I think you nailed the most important one, the Pop-Tart.
Thank you very much. Well, I tell you, Callie, we are so happy you were able to come on the show. We're really excited about following your career. You're so upbeat and friendly, like a true Midwesterner. And so, you're doing Wisconsin proud, and I'm sure they're cheering for you, and we will be as well. Let us know when you have another fight scheduled. We'd be happy to have you on like a week or 2 weeks before then to just pump it up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely let you guys know.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much again, Callie. The MMA Power Hour is better for having you been a part of it.
Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome. You have a great night. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was Callie Robbins. What a super nice woman. Upbeat, friendly, just an amazing fighter, and just a super cool, humble, nice person. Got to check her out. 5-0 as a straw weight. I mean, a lot of these straw weights, Adam, will have like 10 fights and 9 decisions.
Right.
Not all. Some of them will have maybe 3 stoppages out of 10. Callie, 5 stoppages out of 5. And she's been fighting serious fighters, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so to come from, I think it is just the level of people that she's training with, first from Duke Rufus's gym and then Eric Red Schaefer's gym. She's got amazing people. She's got an amazing work ethic and has got training partners that she respects, and she goes for it, and it's just like a real decent person. I really like that woman. She just seems like a killer person, don't you think?
Definitely. Inside the ring, definitely a killer.
Yep. And outside a killer, nice person.
Yeah, they're just awesome.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. So
definitely excited to have her on again in the future. And I'm going to go ahead and take the lead here for a second. I know you're the host of the show, the man of the hour, but I'm going to go ahead and bring us into break here. And just want to say thank you to everybody real quick. Definitely all the shares are appreciated on Facebook. Let everybody know to go to the Facebook page. It is MMA Power Hour, just up in the search bar, or you can do facebook.com/MMA Power Hour. Pretty simple. And also want to give a huge shout out, as always, to none other than Rob Tatum and Combat Press. Go to Combat Press, check them out, and show your support just by sharing their stuff as well. CombatPress.com for all of the inside scoop on everything combat sports.
That is the place, absolutely. And, Rob is also a big part of Invicta as well, so doing double duty to make MMA a better place. Mr. Rob Tatum, all respect to him. And we will be coming back. Also, Fuji Sports. Check out fujisports.com. Put in Power Hour in the discount code for 15% off. We're going to be coming back with our final guest of the evening after these brief messages.
And a short video.
2 things, guest and a short video, 2 interviews coming up after these messages.
Founded in 1969, Fuji Sports is your #1 source for gis and grappling gear, specializing in superb customer service and high-quality judo and jiu-jitsu uniforms and competitive prices. Fuji Sports is a proud manufacturing partner with many established organizations throughout the world, and is also a proud sponsor of U.S. Olympians, BJJ World Champions, and MMA superstars. Fuji Sports offers gis, rash guards, t-shirts, backpacks, shorts, gloves, and more. Visit fujisports.com to buy or customize your own gear today.
Too handsome. He's too handsome for Hollywood. He's too sexy. He's too sexy for his own good. This is the King of Connecticut, Matt Granahan, host of The King's Court, telling you to go to the Amazon Kindle store and pick up a copy of my new book, too handsome for Hollywood. The world, according to the suntan Superman, with the foreword by the UFC Hall of Famer Dan the Beast Severn. He's too handsome. He's too handsome for Hollywood. He's too sexy. He's too sexy for his own good. Yeah. $9.99. Pick it up today. Too handsome for Hollywood. The Amazon Kindle store. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, my name is David Fimbras with Boulevard Moving. We're a 5-star moving company here in Southern California with offices in Arizona and Nevada. We cover local, long-distance moving and your full storage needs.
Why choose Boulevard Moving? Well, that's simple. We offer 5-star ratings in local directories, information and guidance throughout the process, certified moving consultants, expert packers, and movers. 24/7 availability for moving and packing services. Highly recommended among the area's most prestigious realtors and estate managers. Our mission is to deliver superior customer service and to provide the highest level of quality workmanship for the physical movement of goods. We strive to maintain a level of communication that eliminates the stress and inherent concern people have when hiring a moving service, be it residential or commercial. Call us today at 844-274-0500 or visit www.boulevardmoving.com.
The power. We have the awesome Julie Kedzie from Invicta Fighting Championships with us, and I'd like to ask, how are you feeling after this amazing Invicta 25, Julie?
Well, Invicta fights are, like you said, they're amazing. I'm exhausted, but I'm very happy that I saw what I saw tonight.
Yeah.
Really some new stars in the making. Some other stars come back to reclaim their crown that she sort of lost but didn't lose, or whatever whatever happened there with the Evanger Kunitskaya thing. It's good to see her come back and really remake herself and, you know, be the fighter she can be.
Absolutely. She was so impressive. She looked like she was on a mission, and she was always tough, but something about Kunitskaya now looked like she was just not going to be leaving that octagon without the title. And she just looked strong. She looked big. She looked rangy. She looked talented, and she looked like she was I think that was the best Yana Kunitskaya I've ever seen. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. You know, she did things when she did broken rhythm in the cage. She did like lead up jabs where she was using footwork that was just a little bit different. And I think it kept her opponent, it kept her Kel Paolui, who's a fine, wonderful fighter in her own right, but it kept her totally frustrated the entire time, and it looked like Yana had fun. And I remember, you know, Coach Winklejohn was just like, have fun out there. If, you know, in their pre-fight interviews, he's like, if she has fun, she'll win, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah,
and she was even doing some Holly Holm karate ki-eyes with her punches, if you notice, probably from Holly.
Yeah, if you watch old footage of Yana Kunitskaya, she's always made those little yells. Yeah, so, but it was nice to see her do that. Incorporating it with the actual broken rhythm stuff. So when she was fainting, she was doing little yells too. And that's a really nice tactic to get into your opponent's head. They're expecting you to yell when you're hitting. If you yell when you're fainting too, then it really brings out total confusion. And she really kind of she controlled the cage completely.
Yeah, she really did. I think Raquel was surprised at a lot of the stuff that she was seeing. She seemed almost like everything from the start kind of wasn't quite going the way she would have expected. Even though she was doing good, it seemed to me like she was caught off guard with a lot of what Kunitskaya was doing. Would you agree?
I totally agree. I think that what happened, that really got decided in the clinch there tonight. You know, what happened up against the fence was, I think Raquel had trained for openings, for takedowns, and then openings possibly off the cage, you know, moving through. Especially she did a lot of those, you know, trying to pull over the top positioning, and you can't get that if you're double underhooked as tightly as she was. And she was pinned just off her balance up against the cage for a lot of the fight. And then whenever Yana was able to create space, she was able to deliver those really sharp knees, push off, put her at range again, and it was a very good game plan.
It really was. She reminded me a little bit of Drago with the "I must break you" type attitude.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. It was the fighter on the card that really made me laugh was Katarina Lehner, and I said this a million times during the broadcast, but her pre-fight interview, she was just like, I'm going to break her and then I'm going to win by TKO. And I was like, okay, like, most people say knockout, but I'm going to break you and I'm going to TKO, which, there's something interesting about that. Technical knockout means that maybe it's respecting your opponent's chin and saying they're not going to go down, but I'm going to make the ref make this fight stop. And that's that's an interesting kind of trash talk.
Usually no one's calling it TKO, are they? Yeah, that was interesting. But she was tough. Lehner was tough. Hopefully she can make weight next time, because I know some people may talk about that. Or was that scheduled at 140? No, I think she just missed weight. Okay.
No, Invicta doesn't schedule. They don't do catch weight fights initially. She was scheduled to fight at 135, and it's unfortunate because both she and Callie Robbins, because they missed weight, they weren't eligible for Fight of the Night performances, and both of them had amazing fights, amazing personal performances. So we can only hope that they get that under control and come back and fight the way they did tonight.
I hope so, and I would bet they do. Who won the Fight of the Night bonus? I'm sorry about that.
But I mean, usually, I'll just think about which fight, just really from start to finish.
We recently saw in the last half hour or 20 minutes.
I would say that I would say my opinion of Fight of the Night, I made no bones about it, and yeah.
The main event for sure. No, maybe not the main event for sure. What are we? Oh, wait a second. There was a fight. Do you remember, Doctor? There was a great fight earlier, and it wasn't the Jacobson. It was the... That was quick, and that was a great submission.
Sharon Jacobson, she came in there like she was supposed to come in there, just like total aggression. Yeah. Like she looked amazing, and she got caught, and that's like I put on Twitter, it's like BJJ is the great equalizer, and I mean, it was wonderful. Like Callie Robbins did exactly what you do when you're in trouble, and you grab on and you go for what you know, and that armbar was just brilliant.
And she was apologizing for something after. Was that a technical submission? Did she injure her arm? Was there no tap out, or was there a tap?
From what I understand in the footage they played back to me, Sharon verbally tapped, and she said tap. No, Callie was apologizing for missing weight. She said she would never let that happen again. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad, because I hate to hear anyone's hurt. It doesn't happen that much anymore like it used to, does it?
Getting hurt?
Well, getting your arm snapped. Usually it's people are tapping or the referee's stopping before that.
It's weird because you kind of always hope so, right? But then it's like some people are double jointed, so that, I don't know.
And women are so much more limber. If you notice, it seems like it is harder to injure a woman with an arm bar than it is a man. I don't know, or do you disagree with that?
Well, my joints aren't limber anymore, that's for sure. It's me. But no, I don't know. I don't know about that. I just think it depends on the person.
That makes sense. Good answer. So what was your favorite moment of the night? Was there a certain fight or a certain person's performance that made you the happiest or the most excited tonight? And there were so many moments, but anything or one or two moments or people you can think personally that really lit it up and that you were really impressed with tonight?
I don't know if it's a cry of happiness or anything like that, but I would say I was very impressed by two fighters on that card lost their fathers recently, and two fighters decided to fight. And if that happened to me, I wouldn't fight. And so the fact that they were, I guess, pushing through that kind of pain to represent, especially Olivia Souza, 2 weeks ago her father died. Like,
wow.
He was a huge influence on her life. Like, and so that the fact that she was still fighting talks about her commitment to the sport and to fighting. And nobody would have thought less of her if she hadn't fought. Nobody would have thought that. But the fact that she decided to still show up and fight and put on the performance she did, I think speaks volumes about her.
Yeah. And then one of the undercard early fighters also had that same situation, I think, in the first or second fight, who had lost her father or something as well.
She did. Yeah, she did. She lost her father a year ago, and so it's a year to the day that her father, she had her last conversation with her father, and he said, I want you to fight in Invicta. And here she is, August 31st, a year later.
Yep. And both women who lost their father won tonight.
They did.
God bless them. That's awesome. Love a story like that. Well, I know you have so much to do. We'd love to see you again on our show. We'll talk to you about that because I know our fans would love to see the lovely and awesome Julie Kedzie. And so we're going to stay in touch. But I want to thank you so much for your time. As usual, your call of the show was awesome, and you are awesome. We're big fans.
How could you hear my call of the show in the crowd?
I was sitting over there. I heard a little bit of...
I had some stumbles. We had this countdown going on in between. between rounds, or yeah, like at the end of the rounds where they wanted to do something with the footage, and I kept stopping mid-sentence when they would do the I was like, oh, I have to stop talking, and it would be mid-sentence. It was so embarrassing because you'll hear it on the bride, like hair, position, and like. Yeah, and I was like, okay, just finish the sentence, Julie. Finish the sentence.
You know, but I think people like that. I think people appreciate live TV when things happen like that because it is rare. With all the TV shows and everything recorded, they get a chance to see some realism and stuff. So, well, thank you so much again, Julie Kedzie. You're the best, and keep doing what you do, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, thank you so much.
Julie Kedzie from Invicta. And welcome back to the MMA Power Hour. Thank you all for staying with us here, and I'm glad we were able to have that great interview with Julie Kedzie. Hope you enjoyed it. She's super cool. Julie Fireball Kedzie. Look her up. One of the best fighters of the last decade and a fair portion of this decade. I think she retired a couple years ago and was just a super, super tough, legendary fighter and a super nice person. And so really happy that Julie granted us an interview, and she is the commentator doing color for the Invicta Fighting Championships. I better not be wrong. Once in a while I mix up the color and the play-by-play, which I shouldn't. But as far as I'm aware, it is TJ DeSantis with the play-by-play and Julie Kedzie with the color. Or if it's not, then it's reverse. Whatever it is, she is the star. All respect to TJ DeSantis, but Julie Kedzie is who people tune in to see, as far as I'm concerned, on Invicta broadcasts, and she is great and really was super cool talking with her. She's super nice, friendly, intelligent, charismatic, and all that good stuff. Big Julie Kedzie fan. I have been and will continue to be. Anyway, so we have another guest coming up, and he is from Lion Fight. He is going to be fighting in a top contenders match, and we're working on getting him Skyped in here. And we're talking about Mr. Juan Jackson, and he should be joining us within the next 5 minutes. And I'm really excited to talk to him. But in the meantime, I have someone almost as good. Dr. Adam Roorda is here with us. Hey, who is that?
Who is that strange guy?
Who is that? Yeah, we've got the great Dr. Adam Roorda with having a great hair day and a great beard and mustache day. With
when am I not though? That's the question.
It's true. Always, the guy always looks good. This is a young guy that has that style and panache, and this is just an amazing guy, Dr. Adam Roorda.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I try.
Exactly. He does good. So, Doctor, you have some pearls of wisdom here to share, and some insight, I think, to espouse here on our MMA Power Hour show. And why don't you start? We were about to do it. We got Juan Jackson coming right in there.
We'll hit it up right after this.
We'll talk to the doctor right after we talk to Juan. Hey, Juan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. We got a good audio on you. Now we want to get a good video, and I think I see you right there. All you're seeing is a green screen, but we see you. So if you want to stay focused on that camera, that is fantastic, and we'll get everything started.
I was going to try to brush my hair real quick.
No problem. You can do that if you want, but just know that you're on the camera. But that's all right. You know what I mean? You look good, man. I appreciate that smile. Appreciate you coming in here, and we're excited to talk to you. I was just introducing you, and you are a light heavyweight fighting for Lion Fight Muay Thai, and this is a division I think they recently created. Am I right? The light heavyweight division in Lion Fight?
Yeah, I believe so.
And go ahead.
Not too many people in it.
Right, and I think that this fight that you're having on September 29th is going to be kind of somewhat like a top contender matchup, where the winner of this fight may very well be in a title fight sometime soon, I believe, right?
That's what I've been told by the promoters.
Excellent. Yes. And if Scott Kent says it, then that's going to happen, because he's a straight shooter. I like Scott Kent. Had him on the show, and he's a really good guy, and I believe what he says is what's going to happen. So let us know about this fight. I want to let you shout it out, the exact date and where it's going to be, and even if you know the number Lion Fight it is, go ahead and throw down that information right here to our listeners, if you would.
Well, it's September 29th. It's going to be in Connecticut at the Foxwood Casino. Mm-hmm. So it should be a good night.
Absolutely. Is this Lion Fight 38, I think it is, right?
Yes.
Okay. And is this I think this may be your debut with Lion Fight. Am I right?
Yes, this would be my first professional fight.
I like that. And I think you were 8-1 as an amateur or something like that, right?
Yes, 8-1 as an amateur. I had one fight in Thailand.
I like that. That's a really good record, my friend. And so you must be excited about turning pro. And let me ask you, when you've had 9 Muay Thai fights, even though they were amateur, and this will be your first pro fight, do you become super nervous because it's a pro fight, or is it the bottom line is that you've had 9 fights and pro amateur doesn't really make that much of a difference to you?
I believe it does make a difference to me. There's a tier, an echelon difference, and just from the pros that I have come into contact with, just the level of dedication and focus and grind that they have is, inspiring for me to go ahead and take myself to that next tier.
I like that, and that makes sense. But as far as like knowing what to expect, a fight will be a fight. So I think you probably have a proper amount of experience that will allow you to stay composed and focused, unlike if you had never had any Muay Thai fights, right?
Yes, I believe just the amount of fights I've had, it's not that many compared to some people that I do know. But they have given me composure, and that's one of my gifts, is being composed and handling myself.
Absolutely, and that's so important in combat sports. Wouldn't you agree?
Say that again?
I would say keeping composure, I think, is so important in combat sports. I think the best fighters are probably the most composed in there, and I think that's a big thing in all combat sports. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree. It helps define you as a fighter in your own style and technique also.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get a little bit of a backstory on you, Juan. Not everyone is a Muay Thai trained athlete from age of 3 or age of 6 or 8. So where did you start from wherever you were, whether it was high school or junior high or whatever? Take us there before you got into Muay Thai or any other martial art, and let us know what age you were and how you got into it.
Well, I didn't start Muay Thai or any combat sports really until the end of 2012, early 2013, when I got out of the military. I just kind of, been aggressive. Not really aggressive, but I've always had my altercations growing up, and it just kind of helped me focus. And I actually just sat down and told myself I wanted to dedicate an amount of time to training in martial art, just because I had friends that had done it, and I felt like it was something that I would appreciate. And so when I came off of active duty, I trained at a friend's gym, and it was downhill from there.
Right, in a good way.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. And what branch of the military were you in?
I'm in the Army.
Excellent. I like that. And it sounds like you're still in. Are you doing like reserve or something like that?
Yep, reserves.
Awesome. A lot of respect to you there. And I think people should know that because, you deserve a lot of respect for doing that. And I think a lot of people will be fans of yours just for doing that, which is good. And you deserve that. And then you have the people that have been in the Army. So I think giving that information out can get you some more fans that you deserve. And so I'm happy to hear that and respect you a lot for doing that, my friend.
Thank you for your support.
You're welcome. And so in the Army, there obviously was no Muay Thai, but had you been interested at all in doing any boxing there or any sort of combat sports? Were you a fan at all of like boxing or Muay Thai or kickboxing?
I've always been a fan of boxing. Always been a fan of boxing. And I did some exercise stuff on the heavy bag, also as well as Army combatives. And so those things kind of introduced me into combat sports and helped sculpt my composure.
Absolutely, and I've heard amazingly great things about Army combatives training. Absolutely incredible, and really gives you a great base, I think, for what you're doing. And then when you knew you wanted to get into something, you knew you wanted to get into Muay Thai. Where were you living, and where was your first experience with the amateur Muay Thai fighting?
I was living where I live currently in Tacoma, Washington, and I asked my friend, I was like, what are you, I'm looking to get into some martial arts, some boxing, and they introduced me to Master Salhin Shrisuk, and he's in Tacoma. He's a two-time two-weight class WBC champion, so I went to his boxing, and he has a Muay Thai camp. And so I was, first day was a sparring day, and
that's crazy.
I went in there with, with my military state of mind, and was like, go, go, go. And one of the more seasoned guys at the gym, he kind of was like, hey, you need to, have a chill.
Right, relax a little. Yeah.
The chill didn't come, and he kicked me in the face.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, oh,
yep.
This is a whole different game.
Yeah, yep.
And I appreciated it from that moment forward.
And is that the gym that you've stayed at, or have you since moved on to a different gym?
Yes, that's been my home since.
Fantastic.
4.5 years.
And I want to make sure we shout out that gym and get some love for that gym again. I know you did, but can you again say the name of that gym and the teacher?
Okay, Master Salhin Shrisuk, MABJJ, in Fife.
Okay, excellent. And if people were serious about training Muay Thai or already at somewhat of a high level, would someone be able to go down and train there, or is it currently closed off for any other fighters jumping in?
Oh no, we're always open.
Excellent.
So if people want a good look, come find us.
Excellent. And if they want to communicate with you to get an entry in there, on Facebook is Juan Jackson, or how would someone find you on Facebook or Twitter? Same thing?
Yep. I just fall under my name.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And so when you first started to compete, what was your feeling? Were you feeling like, you know what? I don't know. I've got to see how this is going to go. I mean, you had confidence from your Army combatives, and I'm going to see if this is going to be like, you know, something I'm going to do just for a brief second. Or were you feeling like this is going to work out? This is my career, and I'm going to go over here and do what, like Conor McGregor said, I'm not just going to take part. I'm going to take over.
There was nerves that time as there is with every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have I think I've dialed it in,
mm-hmm.
but the first time the nerves were wrecking and I did not know how I would do.
Mm-hmm.
As always, I'm always kind of matched up with the more experienced person. So but I got the heart of a lion, so I just go and I show up.
I like that, and I've heard really good things about you. Now, one thing I know, because I trained for a short while in Muay Thai, and I knew some people that I trained with that were training for quite a while. A lot of people come in, and where the weight that they were first at, as the years go by, they always end up fighting at a lower weight. Was that the case with you, or were you always right around the weight that you're fighting at now, which I believe for light heavyweight for Muay Thai is 170 limit, 175?
170.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been at 170 from my first match.
Okay.
I felt like it was a comfortable when I'm thick or, you know, just eating whatever,
mm-hmm.
my normal diet. It kind of just a little bit over. So I thought I was comfortable making 170, and I've been consistent with being able to meet that every time.
I like that. That's excellent. So making weight, and probably from being in the Army, the discipline and focus is there. So there probably isn't going to be too much of a chance that you'll be missing weight anytime. Would you agree?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Professional.
I like that. I like that. And so this is a big fight coming up. Who's your opponent at Lion Fight 38 on September 29th?
My opponent will be Elijah Clark.
All right. What do you know about him?
Brooklyn.
Okay, from Brooklyn, and his record is similar to yours, isn't he? Like you're 8-1 as an amateur. Wasn't he 6-1, or is that a pro record of 6-1? What do you know about his record?
So as far as I'm aware, I think he's 4-1 as a pro.
Oh wow. Okay.
So,
and
I think he's been pro for a couple years now.
All right, and that doesn't bother you that this is your pro debut and that he's 4-1. That doesn't got you concerned, I don't think, huh?
I'm more so I came to fight.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter.
And so you know, you put him up.
Yep. That's it. And the second loss is coming to him, I have a feeling.
Well, we're paused there for a second on Skype for some reason, but there we go.
Okay, and we're seeing like a freeze frame, Juan on the Skype. And so there we go. Now we're back. Perfect. We got it back. Okay. And yeah, and that shouldn't bother you. It's not like he's 20-0 as a pro. So, you know, I don't want to put something in your head to make it sound like he's 4-1, you know, because no, it looks like that should be a good matchup. Do you go into something with a game plan based on your opponent a lot, or are you someone that doesn't really care about looking at footage too much and just going to do what you're going to do? Or what's your thought? I hear a lot about what MMA fighters say, and I'd love to hear what Muay Thai fighter says.
I think I have the persona to where I want to hold my own integrity as a fighter, and I want to make sure that people have the understanding of what I bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a concept in watching people perform and trying to critique your technique off of them,
mm-hmm.
but I want to be the fighter that everybody has to change to be able to fight.
I like that. And do you have anything that you're embracing more? I know you have to be balanced with your punches and your kicks and your elbows and to clinch and everything like that. But are there any things that we should look out for that you think is really one of your sharper techniques? I'm sure all of it's good, but you know, anything that we should look out for is something that's a big part of your arsenal that could be a trademark of a Juan Jackson fight.
Oh man, well, I am looking to develop on so many levels, and just more so just the encompassness of the complete Muay Thai. So I want to show everything. I want to show the punches. I want to show the knees. I want to show the kick, the feet work. And so you can expect to just see a little bit of diversity and a little bit of power, because I always like to throw power too.
I like that. How many rounds is the fight?
It'll be a 5-round fight.
And that's 3-minute rounds, is it, or 5 minutes?
Yes, 3 minute.
Yeah.
3 minute, 5 rounds for 3 minutes.
That makes sense. Sounds good. Absolutely. And that's a lot for Muay Thai, because there's a lot of action that can go on in there, and can make it a really exciting fight. And that's over at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. And if people can't make it there, it's going to be on live on Access TV on Friday night the 29th, isn't it?
Yes. So it'll be televised. So if anybody wants to, jump in, I know I got family and friends that want to see, that haven't had a chance to make it up to the Pacific Northwest, but now's a chance for everyone to be able to catch me.
Absolutely. And if they were to want to get tickets, would getting tickets through you benefit you at all, or is it not set up that way with Lion Fight?
I haven't talked with the promoter, but I'm sure that if the tickets were coming through me, that some would benefit mine.
Okay, so keep an eye on that, guys and girls. If you want to get down there, hit up Juan Jackson. Now on Facebook, if they look for Juan Jackson, there's going to be maybe a picture of you or something showing Muay Thai, because obviously there's going to be a few more Juan Jacksons, but it shouldn't be too hard to find you, right?
It shouldn't be too hard to find. I'm the melanated brother, and
Nice.
It's got my face.
Nice.
My face is my profile picture.
I like that. I like that. That's going to be great. Let me ask my producer here and co-host, Adam, did you have any questions about the upcoming fight, or about Muay Thai fighting in general, or Juan's story here?
Well, I definitely have some questions for your story here, just touch base. You did kind of talk about how you've just done some hitting the bags and the military stuff. Have you decided or thought about at least kind of stepping outside of your Muay Thai and the basic training that you've gone through at this point, and kind of opened up into other realms, or are you just keeping your mindset on Muay Thai at this point? What are your thoughts on this?
Are you referring to as in like MMA or
boxing, or something?
Like MMA or any other training,
or boxing, or anything?
I train a little bit in jiu-jitsu, just not enough to be able to compete, because the guys at my gym, they wreck me any chance they get.
Right, on the ground.
So,
right.
I just stay humble in my craft, and I stay flexible and make sure I have all kinds of variables in my baggie.
I like that. I like that. Let me ask your opinion as a Muay Thai fighter on what we saw a couple weeks ago, Mayweather and McGregor, the recap and the breakdown from Juan Jackson, Muay Thai fighter. Tell me what you think. What did we see as opposed to what you were thinking and to what some people thought they saw? What are your feelings and breakdown on that fight?
Oh man, this has been the topic of my fingers and my voice for a while.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic showmanship from both parties. I give it to Conor McGregor for stepping out there into a realm that is the deep sea. Yeah. And being able to show face at all. Absolutely. in that sport. But at the end of the day, everyone knew that you're going up against the best. Yeah. And so I appreciate the way Floyd was able to demonstrate the dynamics in boxing. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't get to see all the time, is some of the attributes that makes boxing the sweet science.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think if they would, because in an MMA fight probably Conor wins, what if they had made it like a Muay Thai fight where Conor could kick? Would that have been clearly Conor winning that fight?
As coming from someone who went from not being able to throw a kick to playing a kick, it's hands down Conor. The roles are reversed.
Yep. Yeah. Conor would have kind of beaten him down, busted him up, and then stopped him. Yeah.
One leg.
Yep.
That's all it takes to learn.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, What do you think about a lion fight from what you've learned? You got to be excited to be in an organization like that. I mean, it's getting that national TV coverage on Access TV, and I have a feeling you can make that your home and probably plan on staying at Lion Fight for a while. Am I right?
Yeah. I like the opportunity, and I like the way that Muay Thai is moving and progressing in the United States, and it's a beautiful thing to see that culture and to mix in a place where cultures mix.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I focus on the fight.
Makes sense.
You got to win.
Yep, absolutely. And it's amazing hard training. I mean, our show is called the MMA Power Hour, but we've represented all combat sports here, having had several different people. We had from boxing, Angel Manfredi, the former champion. We had from kickboxing, Benny the Jet, your kiddies, Pete Sugarfoot Cunningham, Maurice Smith, who was also an MMA fighter. And then from Muay Thai, we have Juan Jackson here. We had the cruiserweight champion, Chip Maraza-Pollard, and Scott Banashik. And so we're making sure that we're inclusive here of all combat sports. And I've trained a little bit in everything, not competed at a high level in anything, but competed on a low level and trained. And I have a lot of respect. Muay Thai is an amazingly respectful and steeped in tradition combat sports, possibly the greatest combat sport steeped in tradition. And I have so much respect for what you guys do, the hard training and then the honor and respect that you guys have, and how hard you guys go out and fight there, man. So I want to let you know, big respect from me as a host of the MMA Power Hour for Muay Thai fighters.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And I think Dr. Adam Roorda agrees.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for coming on as well. We appreciate your time here tonight, Juan, and best of luck with your match coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I wanted to say, Juan. Was there anything else you wanted to shout out? Because we want to shout out once again, September 29th, Lion Fight 38. Foxwoods Casino, right, in Connecticut. And what city was that? What city in Connecticut is that? Uncasville or something like that, I think, isn't it? Do you know?
I'm not even sure. I think it starts with an M.
No problem. But the Foxwoods Casino is one of the best for having.
Casino is the location.
Yeah, and that's one of the best places for having combat sports in Connecticut. So you guys can look that up, but don't miss that. Hit up Juan for some tickets. Was there anything you wanted to shout out, before you go to the fans here that are watching, that are looking forward to seeing you fight in about 3 weeks?
No, just keep it simple. Thanks for the support, and I'll be looking to put on a show for you guys and grow.
Absolutely. Well, we believe you will. I'm excited. I'm cheering for you. It's good to know you, man. You seem like a really good guy and an honorable, respectful person, and that means a lot to me. So we will be cheering for you hard, Juan, and you keep up doing what you're doing, man. We're looking for a great fight from Juan Jackson.
Thanks for the love. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You take care. We'll have you on again soon, my friend.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Have a good night. Bye-bye. And that was Mr. Juan Jackson from Lion Fight. He's looking at a top contender matchup, jumping into the newly created light heavyweight division in Muay Thai. Scott Kent's got an amazing organization over there. Chris Cyborg fought there. Jarena Bars, so many top people fight in Lion Fight. Chip Maraza-Pollard, Scott Banashik, and coming up the debut of Mr. Juan Jackson. What a nice guy, don't you think, Dr. Roorda?
Yeah, definitely. A really nice guy.
Yeah.
I'd love to see his fights a little bit, coming from the Amigo debuting as a top contender is kind of awesome. And I'm excited to watch. I'll be watching and tuning in on Access TV.
Yep, absolutely. And the Army combatives, I've heard so many great things. I believe that's where Tim Kennedy, the MMA contender, came from, and Brian Stan, I believe. And forgive me if one of them was Navy or something else, but I know that they were doing military and combatives training, and it's absolutely amazing. And all the respect in the world to this man for still being Army Reserve, and so we got to cheer hard for him. I'm really wanting to see Juan win this fight, and we'll definitely have him back. And so check him out. You guys want to go buy tickets, or you can hit him up online, and don't miss some great Lion fights on September 29th. Going to be absolutely a barn burner, and I think he's going to be a really successful fighter, and we'll be cheering him on to exactly that. So What a great show we had here. In order of appearance, I want to thank so much Tara LaRosa. I want to thank so much Callie Robbins. The interview that we did live, Julie Kedzie, want to thank you so much from last Thursday night at Invicta, and just now Mr. Juan Jackson. Thank you so much for all you guys just coming on our show and making it so enjoyable. Hope you guys really liked it, but we're not jumping off quite yet. We're going to talk to Dr. Adam Roorda here and let him say what he was going to say right before we had Juan come on the show. And take it away, Dr. Adam Roorda. Roar at us all, buddy.
Roar.
Roar.
All right. Well, the doctor is in, and the doctor's going to go ahead and give you the diagnosis for the show.
Yes.
That is one of the big things I'm going to be doing here, is bringing an element of higher production to the show. And first off, I want to go ahead and say I am noticing while I'm watching this, for some reason, my computer's bogging down, which means that you guys are probably getting a little bit of a lag time. I have a buffer set up. Layman's terms, while live, it's going to kind of seem glitchy and stuff. Now you should be able to go back and watch this at any point in time, and it should be a smooth stream all the way through.
But a question about that buffer. Is it Michael Buffer or Bruce Buffer?
Oh, boy. All of the above.
Continue on, doctor. Sorry about that.
You're making it tough here.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
But, I'm going to go ahead and get into some personal stuff here real quick. And the personal stuff is, I am the doctor, and I decided not to disclose why I am the doctor and what I'm a doctor of. But right now I'm going to go ahead and get personal and let you all know. We're sitting here dealing with a lot of pretty decent equipment, able to bring you this show. We've run into a lot of really smooth shows and a lot of really glitchy shows, and I'm the doctor that fixes the glitches and puts the band-aids on. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, at this point in time, I can only perform surgery so many times and so much before I have to go ahead and ask for some help so that we can grow the show, keep it growing. We're getting a huge response. This is absolutely beautiful and amazing. I was just watching our numbers earlier. We're doing really well, and it's all because of you guys doing the shares. We could use a lot more of that. Now, at the same time, if anybody wants to donate, anything like that, feel free to hit us up. It does go directly to the show. It is completely all about MMA Power Hour. And we do want to get to the point where it's not even about completely the show. It's about paying everybody involved in the show. But at this point in time, we just want to grow the show and make things happen. And any help, any support is greatly appreciated. That's sponsors. Hit us up. Facebook.com/MMA Power Hour. Right now we do have a Gmail set up. We are working on our website, which will be a little while before we're completed with that. But we do have stuff moving forward. And that being said, I can only perform surgery so many times before the scar tissue builds up, and I cannot perform anymore. And I think Colin can agree with that. We've got to start moving forward a little bit, and we are. And it's thanks to you guys. But any help we can get with equipment, anybody that can help with videos out there. We kind of brought it up in the past, Colin,
yes,
with maybe having some on-site people doing this. If you're present at a fight or you're thinking about going to a fight, give me a message, and we might be able to get press credentials to certain fights, get you in. You can sit cage side as long as you're willing to do an interview, and if you have a mic and a headset, and a phone, a decent phone.
Yeah.
We could really just rock and roll and potentially go that way. So anybody that wants to help out, let us know. We do have a PR person who's coming on board and has been on board for a while. He's waiting for some work, but we need the sponsorships to come in before we can really rock that out. Now, we do have a lot of shows going live all across the country on different stations. It's actually growing quite a bit now with the plans of Dallas, Atlanta, and Chicago, as well as LA, obviously, and then also some other places in the works right now. We're trying to work on DC and Seattle. I've got a couple people that I'm in talks with right now, Colin, that things are looking amazing. We're definitely going somewhere. All of these people coming in and booking is absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and let you all know while we're doing this, and this being the doctor, Colin needs a break this next week, and I'm going to kind of pick up the slack and run with it. We just need to make sure that everything's rocking and rolling, just stuff going on. So we'll keep it going one way or another. If anybody has any ideas, anybody wants to be a special guest for the week, let us know. This is the doctor doing it. We're making it happen. MMA Power Hour, all thanks to Colin Crandall, one of the most amazing hosts. And I think I pretty much hit everything on the head there. Hit the nail on the head.
Yes, I think you did. Very good, Dr. Adam Roorda. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, anyone want to help out the show, equipment or sponsorship, we could really use it. Yeah, I may have to take the next week off. Likely I will, and I don't want to tell everyone I will and then I'm here, but we're gonna see what can happen, because I know we have a couple of guests we talked to. I don't want to disappoint them. We can check to see if they can reschedule. If not, I may be here despite some pressing stuff that I'm going to have next Wednesday, but if not, we'll have Dr. Adam Roorda here sitting in for yours truly. So either way, it will be a great show. I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining us. Some great stuff and some great fights coming up. The UFC fights coming up are going to be amazing. Just to recap, Nunes against Shevchenko, that's going to be a burner. They're going to beat the crap out of each other. It's going to be an amazing fight. It really could go either way. I like Amanda Nunes. I like Valentina Shevchenko. I picked Shevchenko on the upset, but I think it's going to be a really hard, tough fight, and it could go either way. I think she'll win, but I think it's going to be probably fight of the night. Dos Anjos against Neil Magny should be super interesting. Neil Magny is so lanky and fights tall and fights smart and so resilient and such a balanced fighter, and then going up against the former champ who will not have to cut a ton of weight. That could be fight of the night as well. It's going to be an amazing fight. RDA against Neil Magny. Gilbert Melendez against Jeremy Stevens. I can't see how any of these fights are going to be snoozers, and I'm sure the doctor agrees, and that should be just an amazing fight as well. And then the women, Sarah McMahon against Ketlin Vieira. We got to see what Vieira comes up with. Sarah McMahon has been on a tear, and more than likely I think she wins that fight, unless it's a replay of the Callie Robbins against Sharon Jacobson, where Sarah McMahon gets caught. If that happens, that will be a big upset, but you never know. And then Sarah Morris against Ashley Evans Smith. These are two really aggressive fighters, and I think they're going to really go for it, and it's going to be really tough. I like both of them. So that's what's going on. Other fights on that card deserve a lot of respect too. Just don't have time to go over them right now, but perhaps I'll go live and do that. We have Dr. Roorda also agreeing, saying that, yeah, same thing. We'll go live, probably talking about those other fights. That's about it for now. So we'll see what we can do about a show next week, either with me or Dr. Adam Roorda, or both of us, and then we'll let you know on social media. But want to thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot that you all are supporting. And and we're gonna keep on rocking, and we're gonna try to get this on TV and get sponsorship and make it a show where all the guests are in studio. I think that'd be so much fun. It would look cool, and it would just be a blast. And I think we can make it happen. So all help and support is really appreciated. That's about it. I want to say in closing, look out for yourself. So much craziness has been going on around the country with the floods, terrible weather, and lives lost in Texas, and I really want everyone to know that my thoughts and Dr. Adam Roorda's are with people in Texas there, and if there's anything we could do to help, we will do it. But for people that are getting over there and helping, just huge respect to people that are out there risking their life, helping people whose lives are in danger, and I so much hope that they're out of danger very soon. Hopefully this hurricane coming out, which I think is in Puerto Rico now, somehow fades away and doesn't do any damage. And then we had fires. There were fires a couple miles away from where I live in the San Fernando Valley. The mountains were on fire, and that looks to be contained now. So a lot of tough stuff going on here in the end of the summer, and I just hopefully that will stop, and people can have peace and safety, which is what we all want. We want to have a roof over our head, and something to look forward to. What did someone say? Something to look forward to, someone to love, something to look forward to, and something to do. Food to eat, and a place to rest your head where you're safe. And so let's do what we can to help each other have that. Let's be that guy and be that girl. Let's spread the love in a sincere, genuine, positive way. Look out for your neighbors, your friends. Love them, yourself as well. Be good to yourself. Be good to them. Be good to your coworkers. And really, let's try to realize that we're all a team here, and we just need to try to work together and care about each other, you know. So let's do it, make it happen, make the world a better place. I'll do my part. I know the doctor will as well. And let's rock this. Let's make this a great final quarter of 2017. So that's it for now. Coming at you very soon, if not next week, the week after. This is Colin Crandall for the MMA Power Hour, and I'm tapping out.
Free.